Welcome, guys, to an open event with ESR Racing. We're going to be running the Aquila cars at Monza. This is a drop-in event. It is public, so we do have other racers other than ESR. You don't have to be a part of the club to join these races. But what you're seeing here is the new Aquila car. Race Room added a ton of liveries and also changed the physics, handling, and also the engine. It's a much slower car now. It's not quite as out of control. It's easier to drive on the limits. So they're very, very fun to drive, very competitive cars. Everybody's on a very even playing field being in the same car. And like I said, we're at Monza. This is Emilio Calaveno's home track. And you are looking at Emilio right here. The 256 white Aquila. Looks like Mike spun out there, or Martinez spun out in that corner there. So we'll take a look at the track here. So here's the track. We're looking at Emilio as the number 2 car there. The yellow dot coming through the back side as he'll come around the final turn. That final turn is a very long banked turn. It's usually about 3rd or 4th gear depending on the car. You won't be at full speed. You'll brake at about the 75 marker. Stay to the inside as he's doing there. You can see a very long straightaway there into the first chicane. Out of the first chicane, it's another very long right-hander. It's a full throttle turn all the way out to the second chicane, which is very tight. Hard braking there. You go out of there into the double right-hander. Back the long back straight, a quick chicane in the back, the final straight in the back, and then around to the front again. A very fast track, very long. So we've yet to have a time put in yet. Imagine James Nance will be putting in one here very soon as he comes around the back half of the track. Calaveno putting in 34.8 in the first sector. That's faster than he was putting in practice by quite a bit, I believe. He will be looking at close to 2 minutes, maybe shy of 2 minutes. Just rounding the last turn here. A very difficult turn. It's easy. It's easy to misjudge and put on the throttle too early. It is a closing turn. You run out of room really quick through there. So he comes up with a 158 and a half. That is actually a very good time. We'll see what James Nance has to say about that. You got 2 minutes from Martinez, 2:02 from Alexander Niger. Looks like we got a couple extra guys joining us here. Jason Mons puts in 2 minutes. Edgeworth also 2 minutes. Emilio holding on there 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. Yeah, James Nance puts in a 157.8. That will make Emilio stretch a bit to catch that. Emilio is 0.6 off of Nance. If you don't get a good run out of some of these straightaways, it is quite easy to lose a 1/10 on each straightaway. And if you look at the track, it is mostly made up of high-speed turns, straightaways, hard braking zones into chicanes. And that's pretty much Monza. Quite easy to lose a lot of time on this track. Nance pressuring there. Looking to get around. He's got a purple in Sector 1, which means that he has done his best. And someone lets him around there. Here's Mangus Stainer B. Looks like he is doing personal best as well. Actually, I believe purple is overall best and green is personal best. Nance looks like he will improve this lap. He does not. He actually runs at 2 minutes. He ran 2/10 slower in Sector 3. It's probably pretty disappointing for him. He's off into the gravel there coming out of the chicane. Let's move back and see what Emilio's up to. Still holding the same time of 158.5. And Stainer B is 0.7 off of Nance. That puts him 1/10 off of Calaveno, which is pretty solid. He will give Calaveno a run for his money there for second place. Watching Bobby Edge here. Mr. Edgeworth drove a BMW in the GT2 Championship. Always did pretty well. He was a personal rival for me. Always trying to chase him or fend him off every other turn. Always seemed like he was coming up from behind. Like I said earlier, these Aquila cars being new, most everybody has very little time in these cars. James Nance is pretty much a natural. Calaveno knows this track very well. I don't know if Stanger B runs these cars very often or not, but you notice most everybody is almost a whole second off of Nance. And most of it's due to the fact that these cars are new. A lot of people haven't had time to put time in them. They handle completely different. They're a lot slower. They cause you to be more precise. But they are a lot of fun. And Edgeworth skips the chicane there, outbraking himself, most likely. He'll go around for another shot. Looks like Nance puts in a better time. He runs about 0.2 faster than his last time. meeting a bit of traffic here. Forced to stay to the inside. Car dodges Nance there as he comes up, outrunning him by a mile. Nance back on the power. Did a personal best, did an overall best in Sector 2. He will likely pull out with a 157.5, it looks like. 157.5, there it is. Very consistent, very fast laps. Jason Mons puts down a 157.6. This is a drop-in player, not an ESR guy. Seems to be very, very quick if he's going to outrun Emilio by quite a bit. Now, normally in our championships, we run a formation lap. We will not do this in these drop-in events. But basically what happens is on the green lights, all the drivers, instead of taking off, will stay in position. They will lightly ease onto the throttle off the start line. They will all stay in grid and take a manual formation lap because Race Room does not offer that mechanic yet. We are all looking to see that. It's like Mons going around the outside of Calaveno. Unable to improve his time. This will be his last time around. Nope, he will not get another shot. Time will expire before he gets another chance to run a lap. And looks like the same is true for James Nance. And he will pull over and head back to the pits the same as Calaveno. Here's Thomas Oberg joining us from Sweden. He is actually very early in the morning for Mr. Oberg. He is, I think, about 1 a.m. But he is always very true to his attendance. I believe he got perfect attendance to the GT2 Championship. And every time finishing somewhere around 5 a.m. his time. It was a 2-race format, 35 minutes apiece, 10 minutes in between, and he was always there. Always there for the meatballs. And he will return as well. Unable to put in a qualification lap. Let's take a look through the order here. We have James Nance in the front. We've got Jason Mons right behind him. Emilio Calaveno in third place. Mangus Stengerby takes fourth with a very nice time. Looks like Calaveno improved just a slight bit over Stengerby. Then we got Shards Hunt there in fifth. We've got Martin in sixth. Martinez in seventh. As we're taking our last lap. Caleb Gonzalez in 8th. Kupfer. Looks like we got some issues here with the Steam overlay. I'll have to adjust that. I do apologize. Cooper in 9th and Wright in 10th. And we are about to start. The lights will go green and the cars will all take off. Watch for a decent start. Here we go. And somebody doesn't start. It looks like Mike DeMess Charles Hunt falling down through the order. Terrible start. That is very unfortunate because Hunt is quite the racer. We're watching Emilio. Somebody's off in the grass going backwards. Not sure who that was. It is a scramble for the first chicane here. Looks like most everybody else got through clean. Nance leading the pack. Calaveno and Stengerby directly behind them. Edmonds in fourth. Monders in fifth. He fell back 4 positions on the start. Looks like Martin gained 4 positions. Mr. Edmonds there. Very nice view as they all go through the chicane. Playing around with some different options here. Oh, somebody gets the back end out. He's going to lose it. It looked like Stengerby there in the back. It looks like he avoided losing the back end. Able to hold on. And he's getting quite a bit of pressure there from Bobby Edge, who takes the inside. Very nice move. Will he hold it? He will. He's able to get on the throttle there. Oh, Emilio. No, that is Mr. Edmonds. Martin, it was off. And Martin falls back quite a few positions there on that off in the last final turn. And somebody missing completely the chicane there. Looks like Bobby Edge missed the chicane. And he will relinquish the position to Stengerby. I don't believe that the penalties are on, but he would have done that out of respect, which was a very good move on his part. Here's the chase. Martin's chase. Looks like 3 cars all right together here. Being led by Stengerby. Looking at Gandelli ahead of Edmonds here. Gandelli is not an ESR racer. He will be a drop-in, which is fantastic to see such a full grid. These guys very close. Edgeworth will be looking to pass Stengerby here in the next couple turns. Ooh, Stengerby gets the outside. Oh, Edgeworth loses it. No. Completely off there. He was trying to avoid a possible accident with Stengerby, it looked like. Just barely avoids it. Just barely. Yeah, he's missing some shifts there. Definitely flustered. That was quite unfortunate. He was right on Stengerby. Right on him. Loses 2 positions. He will be looking to get those back here pretty soon. Take a look at Oberg here, putting pressure on Martin. Looks like somebody missed the... Gonzalez missed the... Gandelli, sorry, missed the chicane. Oberg in the black and gold Aquila. Only an 800th second off. He's looking on the inside. He dives back in behind the slipstream. Oberg attempts his overtake on Martin. Should have pace on him. Notice that he's holding back. Oh, there he goes. He's got the run. He's got the speed, and he will take him. There's the pass. See as Martin falls back into suit to grab the slipstream behind Oberg. Martin sticking with him there, not giving an inch. So Oberg will set his sights on Stengerby. Edmund's really using the slipstream there. These cars very sensitive to aerodynamics. Running a little bit wide. He won't get quite as good of a run out of the last turn. And Oberg will pull away slightly. Here's Mons trying to keep up with Emilio Calavano. Mons is 4 seconds off of Nance. Oh, James Nance is actually behind Calavano. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Nance has some time to make up now. They're coming around the last lap. He was 4 seconds ahead of Emilio, I believe. Oh, and he loses it again. Very unlike James Nance. Lost the back end trying to keep up with Emilio. Emilio's just got his head down. He knows the track. And he will just continue to push. Clipping the inside curb. Trying to get a good run. Not exactly sure what happened to Nance. Might have missed the chicane. He was fine coming across the finish line. Then all of a sudden he was back behind Emilio. But he's already gaining some ground here. He's within a second. Running wide into the gravel trap. He won't get a penalty, it doesn't look like. Notice his shift points. Very consistent at 5,300, just before 5,400 RPM. And Mons following suit behind Nance. Be looking to capitalize on any kind of mistakes that Nance will maybe make, or Emilio. Some hard braking. The cars are very squirrely in these hard braking zones. Have a look here at Edgeworth pressuring Duval. Remember, Edgeworth did fall back a couple positions early on in the race, but it looks like he's having a decent time being consistent. He's a half second off Duval. We've got 21 minutes to go. This is quite a long race. We're only 10 minutes in here. So these guys got to keep their heads down, do their best to stay consistent, not make any big mistakes. And he runs wide, but he still keeps a decent line through that chicane. Can't say it was fast, but he definitely is consistent. Gonzalez having some issues with connection, it looks like. Remember, it looked like Hunt was the one who got shafted there at the beginning with the standing start. So Hunt is running in 13th, being chased by Gonzalez. I have that backwards. Gandelli chasing Shards Hunt. Hunt chasing Gonzalez. So far, James Nance holds the fastest time on the track. He ran a 1:57.4. Emilio has the second fastest lap at 1:58.4, which is very solid. It's actually faster than his qualifying time. If it's not faster, it's right at. Maybe he had a 1:58.3. Nance gaining some ground on Calaveno. Calaveno has to not make any mistakes. Oh, Nance was a little excited on the brakes there. He forced to run a little bit wide to avoid Calaveno. Nothing dirty about that at all. It's the guy who's behind's responsibility to not run into the back. So Nance almost losing the back end out of that corner. Nance is probably having a fantastic time. Usually he's able to put some seconds on the other racers early on. This time he's giving a run for his money. So now he's letting his engine rev up to 5,600, it looks like. 5,500 was the shift point there. Emilio crossing the line with 17 minutes to go. Nance catching up there in the braking zone. Will he be able to get on the power quick enough? Emilio goes wide, but Nance gets into the gravel a little bit. They went side by side there through that turn, and Emilio comes out behind. He will be putting some serious pressure on Nance, though, to get that spot back through the chicane here. Emilio has to be consistent. He has to wait for Nance to make another mistake, because it's looking like Nance has not got much time in these cars. And Emilio just knows his track. He just really knows his track. He's put in a lot of laps here with the McLaren. And he has to rely on his consistency. Looks like Oberg's climbed up into fourth, made the pass on Stengerby, maybe made a mistake, fell back. Oberg's got 6 seconds on Stengerby. And Edmond's making a pass on Stengerby there. Looks like we're going to miss that. And he made it. Not sure if it was a racing pass or if Stengerby led him around. Val making a chase on Edgeworth. Looking decent through the last turn with 15 minutes to go. Having a look here at Wright, chasing Martinez. He's going to use that slipstream. He's staying out a little bit more. Martinez didn't see him. He knows he's there now. He might be able to make the pass here. He backs off way, way early. A good 100 meters too early. But it looks like Martinez was expecting him to make a move. Missed shift there possibly. James Nance falls behind Emilio again, and we missed it. He's got a run on him, and using the slipstream, he'll pull out on him. No, he won't. He'll stay right behind him. James really knows when to choose his battles there, or knows how to choose his battles. Very, very nice. So that turn through there, James makes the decision that there's not going to be enough room to take an inside move. Even though he had acceleration on him, he would have probably caused problems. Man, he is just really flying. He's right up on him again and chooses to stay behind him. A very wise... Oh, he might have the inside here. Might have the inside. He backs off. Being patient. Looks like James is committing himself to not making any more mistakes. With 14 minutes to go, he's going to force Emilio to make the mistake. Because Emilio's sticking consistent. He is staying very, very consistent. Oh, Emilio misses the chicane. That will hurt him so bad. He's able to come back in, and they touch. They're both off. They are both off. Oh my gosh, and they're both going to try to go through. That was crazy. And Jason Mons takes first with Oberg following him. That was crazy. So Emilio misses the chicane. James Nance unable to avoid him. They collide, and then they both try to squeeze through the barriers at the same time. Absolutely wow. So Mons and Oberg gain 4 seconds out of that deal. Looks like Nance still only 2 seconds off Oberg. Oberg 4 seconds off Mons. Nance has got some serious work to do. And Calaveno looks like he's fallen back quite a bit more than that. He's a whole 3 seconds off of James Nance. And the field starts to spread pretty thin. Looks like Martin might have a chance here on Stangerby. He's looking to the inside. He'll tuck back in. He will not try on that. Stangerby holding his own. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. But you can all bear with me, though. We'll get a correction. He's got to run using the slipstream. You look up the inside. There is not enough room there. Martin, oh my gosh. He's able to get back on the brakes and safely maneuver there. He might be able to get a run on him. James Nance is closed down to 1 second on Oberg. And Oberg also closing the gap on Mons down to 3.5 seconds instead of 4. Edmonds misses the chicane with Stangerby there. Martin's sticking with him for sure. 10 minutes left. He should probably just dig in. He probably will just dig in and wait for Stangerby to make a mistake. If he does, Stangerby actually looking very strong tonight in the Aquila cars. So we'll have a look here at James Nance and Oberg. Looks like James Nance is putting pressure on him. He's all over him. He's going to go up the inside. He had a huge run coming out of that last turn. Let's see what they do here. Side by side into the chicane. Nance on the inside. Fine on the brakes. Both done it safely. And both through the chicane safely. Very nice pass. Very, very nice pass. So Nance will now be looking ahead. He is 2.1 seconds off of Mons. Oberg will also try to stick there with Nance using Slipstream to stay with the pack. The small pack up front. Emilio is 8 seconds back off of Mons. It puts him 4 seconds off Oberg, so he's still within range. Oberg definitely pushing Nance still. Looking to take that position back. He's up the inside. He's on the inside. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. Can he hold it? No, he misses a shift, and Nance goes back around the outside. Oh, he pushed him. He totally pushed him. And he knows he did it, and he's going to pull over like a very respectful racer that he is and wait for Nance to get back on track. Very gentlemanly of him. Nance still trying to get himself squared away there. Very unfortunate accident. Just a slight touch. It just shows how hard racing can turn out. I'm not sure how Nance will feel about that. Oberg, I'm sure, is standing there saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And Oberg's going to lose the back end there. He is flustered for this race. Yeah, he is definitely saying, I'm sorry, in his helmet. So that puts James Mons in first, puts Emilio 8 seconds back off of him. We got 7 minutes, 50 seconds to go. We'll see if Emilio can catch back up. We're down to 12 guys in the field. We've lost quite a bit of the field here throughout the race. It is a longer race for public races, so that is expected. Still a pretty full grid, though. So we got Edmund still sticking to Stenger B. Like I said, I got to get that steam overlay fixed. I apologize for that, guys. And Martin's going to miss that chicane line. He, a little late on the brakes, it looked like. Maybe locked him up, missed a shift. But he's doing very well sticking with Stenger B. He will, here in the last 4 or 5 minutes, be able to give him a run. So looking back through the field, Emilio, second place, Mons in first. Fastest lap for Mons is 1:58.498. Emilio's at 1:58.402. Emilio just slightly faster on race. Some unfortunate events happened at mid-race here for the whole front of the pack. Mons lucky enough to stick behind and not get caught up in it. Edgeworth looking here in the last few minutes to take 6th place here from Martinez. Nance in 5th place, trying to claw his way back up into the podium positions. With 5 minutes to go, he's got his eyes on both Martin and Stenger B. Already closed down on Martin here to 0.2 of a second, and he is decreasing it as he goes using that slipstream. Now, one thing R3E does, race room, is as he goes up into this turn here, he will want to jump out of that slipstream so that he gets the downforce back. When you're in the slipstream, you lose your downforce. So going into the turn, the car is not pushed fully down onto the ground. So you get a lot of lost grip So you'll see as Nance approaches the turn that he's going to try to make a move on, he will jump out of the slipstream, and Mark runs wide into the gravel trap. And Nance will move up into 4th, and now we'll have a look at Stengerby if he can close the gap. He's got almost 3 seconds to close in 4 minutes. And it looks like Emilio has is a second better off of Mons, is now at 7.8, whereas he was at over 8 seconds. Yeah, Emilio's going to be hoping for a mistake from Mons, although Jason Mons is looking very, very consistent this race, very solid. So James Nance has closed this gap from 3 seconds to 2. He's got 3 minutes left to try to make something happen here. And Stengerby has got to do everything he can to not make a mistake. He has got to be consistent these last couple laps here. We will take 2 laps, it looks like, 2 to 3 laps. 2 more full laps with 1 final lap, I believe. No, actually, this will be the last full lap. After this, the leader crossing the front line, crossing the finish line, will then get the final lap call. Everybody will take 1 more lap, and that will be the checker. I might not have that timing out right yet, but Nance has closed it to 1.5 seconds now. He's very quick through this section. It's a very tough section. The braking zone, it's really hard to judge through there. You always feel like you're going too fast. You always feel like you're going to go flying off, and as soon as you try to push, you do fly off. Very touchy part of the track there. Nance holding out to like 55 meters to brake, and he is doing everything he can. Down to 1.2 seconds in the chicane here. He's got to get a good run, and he will. Is he able to close time on Stengerby? They're both pretty even here on the run down to the chicane, second chicane. Beautiful line through there. Able to decrease it another 300ths of a second. On and off the throttle all the way through there. Emilio down to 7.1 seconds off the leader. Will not be enough to catch him here, as this will be the last lap. We'll have a look at the track map just to show you the number 1, the green dot there. That is Jason Mons. He will come around that final turn there with 32 seconds left. He might actually be able to make it across the line in time for another lap, although it will be close. And that's what James Nance needs. James Nance needs to have 1 more lap. He's got 7 seconds to cross the line. Will he sandbag it? He could sandbag it. Nope, they'll take the checkered right here. And that finishes the race right there. That finishes the race. We'll take Jason Mons in first, Emilio Calavino in second, Mangus Stengerby in third, James Nance in fourth, Martin Edmonds in fifth, Martinez in sixth, Edgeworth in seventh, Hunt in eighth, and Wright in ninth. What an exciting race. What an exciting race. There was a lot of moments there. Oberg having his moment. Calaveno missing the chicane, and Nance unable. Nance had the worst luck in this race. The worst. But overall, for Jason Mons, very, very impressive run. And here's the final results. Just as we read them: Mons, Calaveno, Stengerby, Nance, Edmonds, Martinez, Edgeworth, Hunt, and Wright. And if you look here, not even a whole lap down, the final runner. He's only 50 seconds back off of the leader, Jason Mons. So, everybody's still got a chance here. Nobody's too far off of being able to finish in the top 5 or whatever. But very, very nice race. Everybody very respectful. I didn't see anything disrespectful, but that will conclude our broadcast there. And thank you guys for tuning in.